welcome to episode 2 of the Team Venom Comic Show. I'm Rory Bailey. I'm joined with my good buddy Connor Franks, aka The Favourite, aka Connor Flanks, aka Connor Allen Flanks. And how's it going, dude?
It's good. You just listed off all my names there, which I appreciate. Which you missed out Big Daddy Purge, which is
I forgot Big Daddy Purge. That is the new name, which at present is on 10, and by next week I reckon it's going to be 12 by default on a technicality.
You're welcome,
y'all. So we've got a nice packed show as usual. Well, I say as usual, it's the second one, so that doesn't really make sense. But we've got a nice packed show.
Soon to be the usual.
Soon to be the usual, yes, because obviously this is the show where we actually take a bit of care with the other segments, apart from these segments where we just go to shit because we chat to each other and have a bit of a laugh. So the main aim of this one is we're going to have a bit of a general discussion, and then we're going to throw out to a few segments that we've done over the course of the last week since the last show. So the main subject for this week's one, because last week we did comic book news, this week we're going to touch on some news, but then we're going to have a main subject. And the news is pretty cool, which is that Spider-Man No Way Home is now the highest grossing movie for Sony ever, which is amazing. And that it took No Time to Die off the #1 spot for the box office of 2021 as well, which I think's really great considering it's only been out for like 2 weeks. So
it is, and it's not surprising. I mean, we've touched many times on and off camera of how good that movie is, and it just goes to show. And also, like, who cares about James Bond in 2021?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's very outdated, to be fair. But some stuff was cool with James Bond. But I haven't watched any of the Daniel Craig stuff, so I can't really defend him that well.
I've seen Casino Royale.
Casino,
I didn't like it.
Is that the one where he got his bollocks whipped?
I'll be honest, a lot of that film hasn't stayed in my memory. I didn't like him as Bond, and I haven't watched one since.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he looked like Bond, so I didn't bother.
The only thing Bond I have enjoyed lately is seeing people argue online who should be the next one.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that quite a lot. That's quite funny. What they should do is the next one should be like James Bond No Way Home, and they bring in like
every Bond.
Like Pierce Brosnan steps through a portal and stuff.
Yes.
And the ghost of Sean Connery, just like deep faked, like they did with Peter Cushing in Rogue One.
Yeah. That'd be great. I love the arguments of Bond though. Some people like losing their shit because people have suggested like black actors to be Bond.
Yeah.
Bond can't be black. I've watched a film where the man caught up to a moving train. He ran to a moving train. If anything, it would be more realistic if he was black.
It would be if it was Usain.
Yes,
Usain
literally.
There as Bond, because he could probably actually do that stunt.
Okay, let's get Idris Elba then. Idris Elba catches up to a train. You naughty slag. Gets on it. Job done.
That would be awesome. Right. I'd like to see that. Yeah. To be fair, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the long-awaited episode 3 of Talking Bond.
The podcast that died a death.
that we recorded 2 5-minute episodes of and then never spoke of ever again until this very moment, over a year later.
We got our tangent out of the way. Shall we talk about the topic at hand?
Yeah, so the topic that we're going with is comic book video games, and the main reason I figured this would be topical for us is that with your new channel, Connor's Geeking and Gamery. Wait.
No.
Gaming and Geekery, isn't it?
No.
It's on the screen. Connor's Games and Geekery.
There you go.
Damn it, Rory. Get your shit together.
Now I know you don't watch the videos, bitch.
I put the intro together. I've seen that logo a shit ton of times. But yeah, so because we've got that, one of the things that we did was me and my son jumped on a game of Fortnite with you last week. Well, several games of Fortnite with you last week. Yeah. A few of them got edited together and got put out as a video on there. So keep looking for your channel there. But obviously Fortnite is one of these games where They have all the various skins, some that you pay for, some that you get as part of the battle pass, and they've had a ridiculous amount of comic book skins over the last couple of years, to the point where we've just seen the Tom Holland Spider-Man in there. Current season pass features Spider-Man as in the comic book version, with the symbiote and Future Foundation suits as alternates. The other season we had Superman. Last season there was the Batman comic that came out, which I'm sure you'll get to later on in one of the future segments that we've got coming up. And there's been loads, and there was a wonderful Marvel season that was roughly a year ago that we really, really enjoyed, to the point where you can check out a video of that on our channel of how we upset Dave for an hour and a half. So
you can
suck it, Dave.
I may have to try and you remember when I tried to do the Team Venom gaming channel and I just couldn't be asked?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's me, you, and Hannah versus Galactus on there.
There is. Yeah, I can remember you putting that out. Can we try and get that for you?
We'll probably put that on your channel. It's about dated to go on, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, we can put it on mine and just stick it in that Fortnite playlist that we got.
Yeah.
Meeting comics. So comic book video games and stuff. Obviously, Fortnite's one that's out there at the moment.
Does Fortnite technically count as a comic book video game now, or is it a video game with a comic book?
It's a video game that's had a comic book done of it, but it also features comic book characters that are influenced. It's both. Because I mean, the comic book. Have you read all of that Batman Fortnite stuff yet?
I've not read a single one.
Fair enough. That's actually a really good graphic novel. I got the graphic novel for Ruben for Christmas and stuff, and I read bits of it when it came out because we got the first issue because of the Harley Quinn skin. Yeah. And Quinn skin. And such a child. And so me and my lad both got that when that came out. We got a couple of the issues of that. We've got the first issue with the Foundation one that they've done, where it's Batman Foundation and stuff, and it's introducing the Batman Who Laughs to the Fortnite Island and stuff, which is pretty cool. But the actual storyline in there is actually really good and fleshes out the game, so that you're not just playing a random battle royal. It's like, okay, yeah, no, this makes sense. They have all things like explaining why they can't talk and things like that in there, and it's really good. But yeah, I definitely recommend it to read because it makes the game more enjoyable with that knowledge.
I'll have to read it. I know I have to pick up issue 2. The stack I got, they didn't have issue 2, but they had 1, 2, 6, I believe.
Yeah.
Which
is annoying because if you had all the codes, you'd get Armored Batman.
I've given them all to Lucas.
Fair enough. Is he using the codes?
He's not. No, they've not been put in yet. But I don't care purely enough for 2 skins of Harley Quinn and Batman. I'm not that bothered.
Fair enough.
But no, to be fair, the lovely lady at the comic book store that I went to actually actively put those into the bargain bin deal that I was doing just so we could pick them up.
Oh, nice. Was that the 20 for £10 thing that you were telling me about that time?
Yeah, 20 comics for £10. I got.
Because we should work for Travelling Man.
We should work for Travelling Man. Speaking of Travelling Man, this is a perfect time to go to that segment.
Yeah, let's go to your comic book hunting.
It was good as Connor and I'm going figure hunting today. I'm not trying to be a bad Sub-Zero. This is just COVID. Makes it easy. Let's go. So we're back from Travelling Man. With my partner, she also got a bulk of comics, but these are the ones that I grabbed, which are Batman: The Adventure Continues issue 2 and 3. I'm not gonna lie, all of these are from like the bargain bin. I think it was like 20 for £10. It is what it is. But we also got 3 Batman Detective comics, and then some issue 1 and 2 of Future State Gotham, which, I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever actually read. It's nice, but what we did get, and as me, my partner, and my stepson all play Fortnite together, we found these. The only thing that's quite sad is the only one nation missing from these is issue 2. But we got issue 1, issue 3. I think this one's which issue? That's 5. So what is this? Hey, issue 4, issue 5. Issue 6 of the Batman Fortnite comic books, which Rory Bailey's mentioned a few times. Okay, a nice little haul. We did well. My partner got an Archie one, and she's also got a lot of indie ones. She's quite cool. She's starting to bulk her collection. But yeah, that's what I got. Nice little comic haul. Hope you enjoyed the segment. Back to Rory and me.
Decent haul. Those Detective Comics and Batman Fortnite stuff all looks great, which obviously pre-recorded and I know all about it, which is why I was gearing towards that as part of this discussion. But yeah, so what games do you enjoy that are comic book related?
Well, the one I'm enjoying right now, which is why I was playing,
literally before we started recording. Yeah,
I've gone back and I'm playing the original Injustice, which is lovely and infuriating.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Who doubles up as Moose?
Alfred. Yeah. I was getting a cameo, isn't it? Yeah, Injustice has been a fun one to play through. Obviously, it's a fighting game, so there's only so much depth they can put into it. If we're going by comic book games, I suppose that's just any superhero game, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, well let's go back to history then, because we need to give props to the revolutionary Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man is no longer allergic to the flaw on Spider-Man 2. That was revolutionary. Plus, that also had like the best swinging mechanics for decade.
Yeah, easily, yeah. And it always made my brain wrinkle a little bit that when they brought out Spider-Man 3, it didn't play as well as Spider-Man 2 when Spider-Man 3 was on the PS3 and 2 was on the PlayStation 2. So you'd think that it would just be a case of going, reskin, make everything a bit more high res, don't worry about the controls. But no, they just fucked it somehow.
Spider-Man 3 on the PS3 was horrendous for fighting and like swinging mechanics. Spider-Man 3 on the PS2, which is what I originally played it as, had the exact same engine and mechanics as 2. Yeah. So when I had my first playthrough,
so you had a great time.
It was amazing. And then I got PS3 down the line. Thought, Spider-Man 3's on there. I loved that game. Played it, and I'm like, what
the fuck is this? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like, and now it's back to that with Spider-Man in the fucking Avengers.
Yeah, which makes no sense that like in the Avengers game they can't get a decent web swinging mechanic, yet Fortnite can.
I know. I know.
Which again, if people check out our video, they're bound to see a couple of random players just freaking swinging through the trees, which happens on many an occasion where we're just saying to each other, "Sure, he's just swinging around like a dick," and
normally that's about your child.
Yeah. So, oh dear, but yeah, it is weird that they seem to be able to do a decent web shooting mechanic and then go, haha, no, and then go through it all over again and rinse and repeat and always seem to mess it up. But yeah, have you played any of the other Spider-Man games that they did for like the 360 and PS3 era?
I don't actually think I have.
Okay.
I went through a phase, well, not a phase, I'm still doing it. I got like the PS2 and the PS3 again.
Yeah.
I started going through the games. I went to collect a lot of the Spider-Man games to just play them because there's loads I haven't played, like the one with like Spider Noir and 2044 and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, Shattered Dimensions.
That's the one, yeah. And like
that's really good.
Web of Shadows and stuff like that. I've never played, but yeah, when I went to look at them secondhand, they're like £45.
Yeah, they're ridiculously overpriced now. It's like Amazing Spider-Man 2, which came out on the Xbox One, because it's the only Spider-Man game on the Xbox One, and the last one that's going to be on the Xbox because Sony just thought, you know what, fuck it, exclusivity. That's now over £100 to buy for the Xbox One, and it's not that good a game. I mean, it's still decent. I mean, the web swinging on those Amazing Spider-Man games is actually quite tight, and having the city to run them out is similar to how the PS4 one works. It's just the PS4 one's better because you've got the whole selection of villains. You've got a really solid story there, whereas the Amazing Spider-Man games are loosely tied into the movies, so they've got that same sort of aesthetic, and they're really limited on what they can do because of they can't put too much in because of future films.
Yeah.
So like the first one that ends just after the first one takes place just after the Amazing Spider-Man film. So you've got Kurt Connors in prison and all that, everything. You break him out, and then I think the villains they use in there are basically Craven and Vermin, which sounds all right.
Craven is all right, but like
Vermin. But it's basically Craven's hunting down Lizard and Vermin, and you just sort of get in the way a bit. That's the whole shebang. But then Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think they must have realised that they weren't actually going to get another Amazing Spider-Man film, so they just put Carnage in it. No Venom, but Carnage.
Oh.
So you get like a full-blown Cletus Cassidy, a beautiful red symbiote, all that sort of stuff. And some of the skins for the game are awesome because you get the Spider Carnage suit. You know, the Ben Reilly infusing. They have that perfect in there, and it is beautiful to swing around as that. but yeah, it's a weird one, and yeah, over £100 now if you want to get it, which is a shame. So
have you heard that the Spider-Man for the PlayStation, Spider-Man 2 is a PS5 exclusive?
Yeah,
that is fucking irritating.
Yeah.
It's PS5 exclusive. You'll have to buy a PS5 to play it. Put them on fucking sale then.
Yeah. So make enough of them so that people aren't charging 600 pissing quid for the low end version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking irritating.
I mean, it's been over a year. It's been over a year.
By the time like we are able to actually own one, they'll start making.
They'll be doing the 6.
One.
Yeah. I know. It's really annoying. It's like I keep seeing the Xbox Series S, you know, the one without a disc drive.
Yeah.
Which is pretty pointless. But on the Xbox, to be fair, I've got 3 games on disc and that's it. Everything else is digital. So I can sort of justify getting a Series S, but I see those all the time for about £200.
Yeah.
Because people don't want them because of the lack of a disc drive. But whereas my games library is frigging hundreds of stuff on there. It's tempting. The only annoying thing is the biggest downside to getting a digital only one is that any new games I'm going to have to pay fucking £55 on the Xbox store for instead of getting a pre-owned one or whatever. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Plus,
and then I just can't justify it.
Yeah, I'm not one for like console wars. I've owned an Xbox and I've owned PlayStations. I literally sold my Xbox and bought a PlayStation 4 again purely because PlayStation has better exclusives.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation's always had better single-player exclusives, and Xbox has had a few better multiplayer ones, but not for years because those franchises have sort of gone down the shitter.
Then Gears of War went to shit. I don't care what anyone says.
Halo's been shit since after Halo 3. Halo 3 was its peak.
The new Halo has already seems to be losing traction.
Don't get me started on the new Halo. It's on Games Pass, so it's free. So I had it downloaded day one.
The new one?
Yeah. It's already on Games Pass. It was like literally from day one, so people can get on it. I couldn't get a game. So I just played fucking Fortnite. Eventually,
welcome to the new segment called Rory Rants.
I know, yeah. But I'd like held off on the campaign thing because I thought, well, I've got Ruben over Christmas. I've got 10 days. Ruben liked Halo 3. Me and him will smash through the campaign, and I'll actually play it fresh with him because it'll be more enjoyable than me going, oh fucking hell, you should be going that way or whatever. Do you know what I mean? If I don't know how to play the frigging thing, it's not going to be. It'd be a much more enjoyable experience for the pair of us. So held off on it. We went to play the campaign. And it went, oh, the campaign isn't installed. What? So you had to download the campaign separately, and it didn't think to do that anyway when I went to download the game. So
how would you do that?
Yeah. So downloaded the campaign anyway, and then went to play it. No split screen. They've taken split screen off it, which is shocking. So I don't know if there's online multiplayer campaign or whatever, but there's no split screen campaign. And all my fond memories of Halo 3 were from split screen. So having no split screen on the new Halo means nope.
Yeah, it's split
get off my hard drive.
split screens are dying out, man. It's like racing games. There's no like split screen for that anymore. There's no local multiplayer for racing games really, which is mental. Yeah,
which is why things like the Switch are doing well when they've got Mario Kart, where they can have a split screen.
Yeah, there's a Switch right there, right next to Venom.
Oh yeah, so it is next to the Venom kitty. Yeah, but
mine's also on charge here. But,
very good.
Yeah, it's just it's turned to a complete tangent.
Well, the subject was video games, so it sort of tracks.
It's all relevant.
It'll swing back around at some point.
It will.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you what will swing back around.
What?
Spider-Man.
Yes.
No, another game that I'll give credit for being a comic book video game that I thought was really, really good. And it's not surprising because this company always does great things. The Telltale Batman.
Yes, which I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to mention another Telltale comic book one which came out before that, which was Wolf Among Us, which is one of my favourite games.
Wolf Among Us is brilliant.
Yeah, which I'm going to tell you something heartbreaking. I left Volume 3 of Fables, which is what that game's based off. I lent that to someone. I got it back the other week, and I left it out on the. In fact, it was underneath where we are doing this recording. And just so you know, that is a piece of the first page because my cat decided he was going to take up an interest in eating comics, and I literally. The very first night, I was just there because it was like down on my stairs so that it was there for me to pick up the next time I went to the bathroom. Because, spoiler alert, I read lots on the toilet.
That's exclusively where I get my reading now.
yeah, it's like the most peaceful place. Anyway, so I literally picked it up. Then I opened it up. There's all freaking bite marks and the front cover, and half of the first page has been eaten. I was like, you little bastard. So yeah, that was really upsetting for me. But I've got a fair few Fable graphic novels. I think they're awesome. Wolf Among Us was great. Telltale followed it up really well with the Batman games and the Walking Dead games. To be fair, you played those?
I have. I've played the Walking Dead games. I love the Walking Dead games.
I preferred them to the TV show.
Yes, I got emotional at the end of the first Walking Dead game.
Yeah, with Lee and stuff. Yeah. Oh man, they were so good. I might actually have to play through those again. That might be what I do after the Final Fantasy VII speedrun thing that's going on the channel. It might just be, you know what, Telltale games.
Nice plug.
And at least it pardon.
Nice plug.
Yeah. Just like that. That was very subtle until we just like sort of.
I mentioned it because it was seamless.
I know it was good. But yeah, that might be the next thing that I stick on there is some of those. One game that I think hasn't done well for comic book games is the Avengers, which is surprising because it's like one of the biggest franchises out there at the moment. And in fact, Endgame obviously being one of the highest grossing box office movie of all time, followed only by Spider-Man. It's great in the top 2 with comic book films. That's amazing. But yeah, that game has been hyped for about 5 years. And when it finally came out, it was a garbled mess. The campaign's okay, but you have to grind a hell of a lot. And it does the annoying thing of going, all right, for these next 3 chapters, you're playing as Miss Marvel. Right, okay, sound. You've got the optional grinds where you can switch characters and stuff like, no, I just want to get through the story and unlock some more characters. Right, well, this next level, you've got to be the Hulk, but because you haven't played as him yet, he's level 1 and all your enemies are still level 30 or whatever, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So then you have to go and do all the grind missions with Hulk to build him up to go and do the campaign, and it's just frustrating. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those games where it's not like the other campaigns of decent comic book games where you could just, play it. Yeah. And that's the thing that it's lacking. It's like Ultimate Alliance is a brilliant example of a comic book game done right. Yeah, and their RPG elements of leveling up and all that sort of stuff doesn't affect your game.
But you again, go in with Ultimate Alliance 3, which is Switch exclusive.
I haven't played that.
I haven't played it because it's been out for like 3 years plus.
Yeah,
roughly. I refuse to pay 50 quid for a game that's been out that long.
I know. This is my problem. It's still 50 quid everywhere I've seen it, which probably obviously means that it's a good game, but that's not the point.
It's like,
I want it cheap.
Yeah. I haven't played the Avengers game still. As I've said to you, I'll pick it up at some point because it's like 10 to 15 quid now, which is nothing. Never played it, but I do own the Avenger Gameverse figures with the Miss Marvel and that, which...
And you can check them out.
Yeah, but tell you what, that's the time to take a closer look at this in Collectible Corner. And welcome to Connor's Games and Geekery. Today we've got another figure review, and this one is on the Marvel Gameverse with Ms. Marvel. The beautiful thing about this purchase is I actually paid for the Gameverse small one, like the hexagon, like the Captain America I reviewed. I paid £8 for that. They sent this one, which I think has a retail value of around £25. I paid £8, so thanks Amazon for the fuck up, but it worked for us. Let's get into the actual review. So this Ms. Marvel Gameverse figure comes with the torso and back of the Build-A-Figure Abomination and some big ass hands. The Build-A-Figure Abomination is part of the line which you can get Ms. Marvel Iron Man for the leg and the torso, which Ms. Marvel has from the Gameverse, and for the Marvel Legends is where you get Marvel, Mark 1, Rage and Leader. I've looked online, the only one that I can't seem to find is Iron Man, which I'm not too fussed because I'm not like dedicated to building the set. Just to be honest, I put these on the wall. Once I've reviewed them, they go back in the box, and I think it'd kind of look weird if I had the box like that but then all this side is empty. It would just look strange, so I'm not really too fussed. There's a couple on the back that I'm gonna get because I just want them. Like I really like the Rage figure, but I'm not too dedicated to build the figures. But yeah, let's get this box open and see if I can sell it. Here is Miss Marvel. I put her on a little podium as she struggles to stand. As you can see, she's trying to be Fat Joe and leaning back there. But the figure itself is very nice. It's very cool. It's a lot smaller than the Marvel one. Well, not a lot smaller. I think it's about an inch smaller. But that's I think that's based on the fact that she is meant to be either a preteen or an actual child, which makes sense. Decent articulation. Just a bit top heavy by the looks of things. Because no matter how much you have to lean her forward, she just does not want to stand. Which is also a good reason to keep her in the box. I'm gonna see if I can get the big hands on her, and there we go. We got the bigger hands on her now. You put these on, the articulation of the arms is not ideal. This is one of those figures that you'd have to get an actual stand. This is just AWA Kurt Angle figure stand, but for the purpose of the video, pretend that way, it'll do. But yeah, the articulation isn't great. This is definitely a figure that if you wanted to have out of the box and on show, you definitely need to buy a stand. But overall, it's nice. I like it. Looks a lot. I like it. The look of it in the box, which is good because, like I said, with the Captain America one, it's the one I'm going to put. They're going to go on my walls, which is nice. The Abomination add-ons are absolutely huge. It's going to be a big figure. The torso alone is nearly the same size as her, which is pretty nuts. But overall, to say I personally spent £8 on this when it's worth $25 or $24.99 retail price, I cannot complain. I'll get it back in the box and I'll wrap up my thought. There we go. This is the review for the Gamerverse Avengers. Is it worth the purchase? For me, yes. Because it was £8, I got sent the wrong one. I got sent a better one. I can't complain with that. $24.99 for that? Maybe not. Maybe not. Unless you need it for the set and you're like doing the builder figure, then I'd probably stay away from it. But hey, maybe buy the Hexagon package one for £8 and you might get sent this one. It is a good figure. It's the same kind of figure as the Hexagon. The figure itself is cool. It's good. I think the price just for this one alone is a little silly, personally. But I do really like the figure, and it's a nice little addition to my new collection of Marvel Gamerverse / Legends figures. So yeah, I can't complain. I think it is definitely if you need it. If you're doing Abomination and you go for all of them, fair play. If you're just collecting the figures alone, then just buy the £10 Hexagon one that just has Ms. Marvel in it. Because otherwise, you don't. As much as the package is bigger and it looks cool, the figure itself is basically the same. But as I said, I paid £8 for a £25 figure. I can't complain. Decent enough, and I'll see you guys next time whenever I buy another figure for another figure review. Also, please check out my channel. There's gameplay videos of Fortnite, horror games, stuff like that. There'll be more coming over the periods. Also, go to Venom Media YouTube channel. You'll find loads of different geeky stuff on there. I'm featured on there as well as my friend Rory Bailey. But yeah, just check those out. Comment, like, subscribe if you want to. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Do what you want to do. See you later.
Okay, so that was you wonderfully unboxing that Miss Marvel figure, which is a really cool figure, and I mean how you got that is amazing as well. I think that is something proper spawny.
Paying £8 for a Ms. Marvel figure, which comes same little Hexagon package, and getting one with a retail price of £25. I mean, granted, there's some starving anorexic child at Amazon getting whipped and fired because of it, but it benefited me. So
that's all that really matters.
Exactly. Although I did see when I was looking at them, there is a Wong figure, Marvel Legends, that comes out February 1st. So nice. I may have to pre-order that.
Wong. Does he come with a portal?
I don't know if he comes with a portal, but bear with me. He comes with a lot of shit, if I remember rightly. I think. No, I'm trying to think. He's either one of those that comes with like the stuff that you can turn into a stand.
Yeah. Or
it's just like a lot of accessories. I know there was also a Black Widow one that I saw that had like fucking loads of like obviously the Marvel Legends box is like this. You've got the figure and then a couple of bits.
Yeah.
Her box is like Black Widow's got a huge box. Fuck me.
Big enough to put your head in it.
Yeah. It does come with if I do that, there you go. So it comes with the magic spells with hands on it, so you can actually
nice.
Put his hands out for those.
What's the Build-A-Figure series in that with that big green arm?
That would be it's Rintra. Which is a choice that they've made.
Yeah,
that's the best I can say about that. They made that decision,
which is a thing they made.
Yeah. But the fun thing, this comes out February 1st, and it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Marvel's one.
I've seen that. That does look really good.
So
that looks a lot like the What If version of Strange from that Strange Supreme. To be fair.
To be fair, I know the camera's not really doing it justice, but that's a very good face mold.
Yes. Wong.
I watched Endgame again the other night, and he still has one of my favourite lines. You know, when everyone comes back through the portals right at the end, and Doctor Strange's like, is that everybody? What, you wanted more?
I like the thing in Spider-Man where Wong's the Sorcerer Supreme on a technicality. He's just like more than happy about that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So yeah, keep an eye on Connor's Games and Geekery on YouTube, and you might see a Wong unboxing. And to be fair, if I do pre-order that and get it on release date, may actually get a few views on that one.
Yeah, but all this stuff will build up. To be fair, it just takes a while, doesn't it? I mean, look at if you look at some of the other action figure ones on there, there's people that have been doing it for years and are still only getting like 10, 20 views on ones from over a year ago.
Yeah. That's, to be fair, I'm not too fussed. I'm enjoying making content again, so I'm just going to...
This is it, so yeah.
Take that.
Hence this very show.
Exactly. But we're talking like we're not on.
Yeah. So, wait, we are recording, aren't we? Yes, we are recording.
If that's how I told you. Waited all this time to just drop it when it fell into conversation.
Yeah. We didn't just start. It's because we came back from that segment and we just carried on in like a way as if we hadn't. So I'm now like confused. But now it's good.
Yes.
So, speaking of seamless transitions, I think it's about time for the comic of the week. So let's go to that now, sir.
I wasn't so seamless because it's also me. So that's 3 segments in a row. Let's go.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This week's comic of the week is issue 1 of Future State Gotham. It's a very noir style black and white comic with a lot of build up in issue 1, but it's perfect build up for what is going to come into the future comics. I saw the other issues, excuse me, that I picked up in the video you guys watched previously or before, depends when this is placed in the overall show. It's a fine book. It's doesn't focus too much on excitement so much in issue 1 as I hoped it would, but there's a lot of setup for you to get ready for the other Future State Gothams. Obviously, anyone who's going to pick this book up, people have been keeping up with Future State since the beginning, but I've been in the opinion that if you're going to write a series, it should be able to stand on its own 2 legs without outside rating, and this honestly does do it. The art style is honestly, there you go, it's a perfect example. The art style is just beautiful, from the scenery to the actual characters themselves. The dialogue's very good. And first time I've read this is from picking it up, and I'm honestly very excited to keep up with this. From what I've read, it's exciting, it's new, and more importantly, it's the comic of the week.
Wonderful. So, great choice, obviously. Is that one of the ones that you're going to be buying more of that series, or what?
Yes. I love that series and all. Specific thing that I've totally corded at this point. Favorite. Right.
From your comic of the week, let's go now. Because it follows on, we'll go to the greatest graphic novel guide, and we'll go to part 2 with that. Last week was Dark Knight Returns. This week, I can't remember. So let's end it now. It's as much a surprise for me as it is for you.
Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of the Greatest Graphic Novel Guide. I'm your host Rory Bailey, and on this week's episode we're going to be talking about Wolverine Old Man Logan by Mark Millar and Steve McNiven. Now, I know last week I did Dark Knight Returns, and it's sort of appropriate because this is the Wolverine equivalent to that story. See, this is all set many years in the future after the villains have all banded together and taken out most of the superheroes. Wolverine's become a farmer and also a pacifist to boot, and it's just really awesome. So the art from Steve McNiven is absolutely fantastic. It's the same creative team that did the Civil War graphic novel as well. Well, I say graphic novel start. Obviously, all of these have started off as mini-series first. And yeah, so we basically, at the moment, these pages that I'm showing you where it's got Wolverine popping his claws and stuff. I know I just said he's a pacifist. This is like a sort of fantasy thing that he's having, because instead of that actually happening, what's really happening is he's just getting his head pasted in because he refuses to do anything. And this guy with the shades here, that's Hawkeye, because he's blind, because why not? But yeah, no, the whole series is basically blind Hawkeye takes Wolverine on a road trip in the Spider-Mobile from the wonderful 80s Spider-Man comics, and takes him across the wasteland to make a special delivery to some form of resistance. Along the way, Wolverine ends up getting his edge back and goes from, goes from being the pacifist and whatnot to basically overthrowing the current rule. That's by the way, that's Peter Parker's granddaughter. How awesome is that? Let me just flick through to show you some cool stuff. The page that I'm on at the moment showing why Wolverine's a pacifist, and that's essentially that because the villains all switched it up. As you can see, Wolverine's having a very, very bloody battle here with a load of X-Men villains, and we've got this here. Let's just go into it. Bullseye saying, "Logan, stop, what are you doing? You're supposed to be our friend." Because it was all a ruse by Mysterio, the fishbowl-headed bastard. So Wolverine had actually massacred every single member of the X-Men. Obviously, that was at the X-Mansion at the time, because there's a few that pop up in the Wastelands at various points. Oh yeah, and then afterwards, Wolverine attempted to kill himself, but healing factor, unbreakable bones, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah. So, yeah, and we also got the bonus of the main villain of the piece being Red Skull, who's running America. And, yeah, it's just awesome. He's wearing Bucky's Captain America uniform there as well. Artwork's absolutely stunning all the way through. It's a very good story, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. So, yeah, so that's my weekly graphic novel review. I hope you've enjoyed it. Keeping these short and sweet and stuff. But yeah, here you go.
Old Man Logan is a classic, to be fair.
It is. And from the last episode of this that we did, when I did my collectible hunting, I showed off some of the stuff that I got Marvel Wolverine-wise. I picked up Volume 1 of Wolverine Marvel Knights, which is the Brotherhood. I picked up Enemy of the State Volume 2. All of these are the same run, which accumulate in Old Man Logan. So all those individual issues all lead up to it as well. So there was a couple of issues that I said I was looking forward to, which were, I think it's like 72 and 73, which I didn't know existed. And the reason I didn't know it existed is because that was the point where Marvel were doing the Dark Reign thing. So Daken took over the main Wolverine stories and stuff, but that was almost immediately after Old Man Logan. However, these two issues had slid through the cracks of my knowledge and are between Old Man Logan and the Daken stuff. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a read of those. You watch, they'd be shit. you just know it. I've just hyped it too much in my own mind. I'm just gonna like, what?
Yeah, I hope they're really bad now, just for you.
Thank you. One of them had Wolverine in Santa costume on the cover.
And Ultimate Warrior did not like it.
Ultimate Warrior just rapes him. Because that is actually topical, because that was a Christmas comic that actually happened.
Christmas comic, and it's the 4th of January at the time of recording. Ultimate Warrior made his own comic where he molested Santa Claus.
Yep.
There you go, kids.
And on that sour note,
comic books.
We're going to show you some cool comics, and this is the Indie Comic Showcase. Enjoy.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Hi folks, welcome to the Indie Comic Spotlight. For this week's episode there's going to be a little bit of a difference because last week, as you saw, we spoke to Jordan Wyatt for Reckless Hero, and that was archive footage from Comic Con. This week we're going to do some shameless self-promotion because why wouldn't we? But essentially we've got, both myself and Connor have got projects that are coming out. Mine's out, his is due out in 2 or 3 weeks. So I figured, since I've got the brief copy of his and I've got my own, we'd use it to shamelessly plug our own stuff. Obviously, if you're a comic creator, an indie comic creator out there, and you want to be involved in this, please shoot me up a DM, and we'll get you on it because we've got an open invitation to any indie comic creator that wants to be featured on this. So, first thing I want to talk about is my own, which is The Suit. Currently on issue 7, which is the, as you can see from that picture, there's me and my co-host from the Team Venom Comic Show, Connor, in that little block there, because this is the first part of a crossover series that we're doing called Last Rites, which the concept was by myself and Connor. What we've done is we're sort of alternating issues, so the first part's here. You can get the issue 8's virtually finished, that'll be out soon, and that will wrap up the Suit side of things for Last Rites, and you can read my stuff without having Connor's involved, but it's better to have all of it, because essentially the characters go in 2 different directions. One is his book, one's my book, sort of thing. So it's a cool crossover, everything affects itself, and that's the first part. So yeah, and that's now available on eBay as well, so if anyone wants it, then you can pick that up. As you can see, there's a nice little who's who. My stuff's very much in like a noir sort of style. These are A5 size as well, so very, very convenient and handy to just stick on shelves. And the other one that I wanted to mention is Connor's story, which is Sins of the Limbo. As mentioned, Last Rites is a crossover between The Suit and Sins of Limbo. Sins is something that he wrote last year and didn't get around to publishing, but starting the publishing as of this month. As a very good friend, I know already that he's got the first order of the wedge of these on the way. Same sort of format, but obviously black and white, but its own distinct style in comparison to The Suit, which is awesome. And yeah, so you can find more about this on our Facebook page and previous videos on the YouTube channel. There are videos with us talking extensively about both series from, like, say 6 months ago, which is again when Connor wrote this and when I was on issue 4 or something of these. So yeah, so that's the spotlight for this month. Buy our shit, it's great. You can pre-order this from Connor directly, you can just order this from me via DM or via eBay, and that's about it. So yeah, let's go back to the main programme.
What a handsome man plugging those comics.
Some sexual section. See, they say sex doesn't sell, but
look at that face.
I'm erect and my wallet is empty.
I know, this is what happens. I have every issue with those series is available, and just to reiterate, buy our shit.
That video gave me one more issue. You might notice missing from the show that we did last week and just ballsed it. It's the head-to-head segment, because
we had a good idea for that segment.
It was a great idea, but it doesn't work because me and you don't disagree on many things when it comes to comic books. So whether it comes back in the next one or in a couple, what we're going to do is turn head-to-head into an actual head-to-head argument, whereas we spin a wheel twice. It's got heroes, villains, etc. Spin it twice. Well, spin it once. Rory gets that person. Spin it twice. Connor gets that person. Argue who wins. Which we should be able to get, depending who it lands on. We could get
get the same person repeatedly.
No, because I know a website where you can do it. When it lands on something, you can click to remove that.
Ah, nice. Okay, yeah. That.
But if we get like Batman versus Iron Man, we could argue for a while.
Yeah.
Whichever side.
And we could both. Yeah, to be fair.
Whichever side we land
we
on.
We could both justify either of those guys.
Yeah. So that'll lead to a lengthy segment. But if we do it again and we get like Wonder Woman and Howard the Duck, we might do a second spin after we've been like, so you just kill Howard. Yeah. Yeah, 7 more pancakes. Good stuff.
He just banger.
Although,
Once you go, duck.
Did he survive the fight in Endgame?
He must have done. He must have survived that fight in Endgame. I mean, there was nothing to say he died.
Imagine if like you just take it frame by frame and like
and he's just being stomped on.
You know when Thanos rains fire down?
Just a fried duck.
You zoom in and there's just like 2 white feathers just
and 2 Ravagers stood there with pancakes getting ready.
Pancakes and hoisin sauce. For the record, we're not calling Asians aliens. We're not. What?
That was just a coincidence.
Yeah. But we're going to build a wall. So yeah, it's been a fun episode. We've had some lovely segments. I just knocked him over and caught him before it fell.
Very good.
See,
Ledge.
Matrix 4 should have me. That's why. Otherwise, it'd be shite. Have
you watched The Matrix 4?
No, of course I fucking haven't. But just imagine it's shite. Is it even out yet?
It came out at the same time as Spider-Man. Look how well it's doing in comparison.
I've not heard anyone say they've seen it. Holy shit.
Everyone's just gone, yeah, but Spider-Man?
Make the Matrix Reloaded PS2 game a movie. That'll sell.
The one that was called Enter the Matrix.
Yes, that one.
That was awesome. Because I had
Naomi and...
Yeah, and then they had scenes that were in that game that tied into the movie, but they're only in the movie briefly to set up the game, which is awesome. I love that they did that. They went, right, yeah, if you want their stuff, they're in the background doing something that seems interesting, and if you want to know what it is, play the fucking game.
Yeah.
Fair play, respect it. That's some really good tie-in. You don't get that with other films, to be fair.
No, and then they did was it Matrix Path of Neo?
Yeah, where you just messed everything up as like an overpowered Neo, didn't you? I think, basically. I can't remember anything about that game other than, shite. But yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next Saturday with another thrilling escapade. If there's any subjects that you want to hear us chat about on here, obviously let us know in the comments. If you don't, then we're just going to pick something, and you're going to get an evening like this where we just waffle for a bit. So, we pulled this out of our ass 5 minutes before we started recording. That's how we came up with tonight's subject. So give us something in the comments, folks, and we probably won't even talk about it because, let's be honest, we don't read our comments.
Or
read
comics.
Lots of comics.
We don't read any comics, which is why we don't listen.
Not at all. That's why the show shouldn't exist.
Yeah. We don't read a single comic, which is why you're watching the Team Venom comic show.
Before we go, let's just quickly take a moment to give a shout out to some of the cool indie comic, because the last segment we did was the indie comic showcase, and I wanted to mention some of the cool shit that we did, or that other people have done as well, like the Reckless Hero I forgot the name of the fucking Last Sheriff. That's it. Reckless Hero Last Sheriff is really good. That's the people that were on our last week's episode. They gave me a copy of that, which was cool. There's also some really cool indie stuff out there, like Moon, which is awesome. Sister Mercy is another good one. Ramur. These are just random titles that I've picked up myself that I've enjoyed, and there's a few that I've not enjoyed really. And so there's a few that people should realistically stay clear of. Connor, I'm pretty sure you know exactly which one I'm on about.
It can be one of a few, and if you want, I can just lay them out here so people.
I mean, you could. I was just going to say about
contestant and shit.
Yeah, basically, female Doctor Strange ripoff thing. Yeah.
But she's Italian, bro.
Bro. Bro. Gets thrown over your shoulder on the little video. But to be fair, much props to anyone that goes out of the way to make their own series.
No, I agree. It's despite the fact, like in Contessa, for example, I think it's shite. Other people might like it.
Yeah.
The dude's gone out of his way. Well, not entirely. He did a
Kickstarter.
Go
for me. Yeah.
So, not all on your own. But he's done the art style and the story. Something to be proud of.
Yeah.
For the bit.
You have to give props to anyone that does
he's
that
gone out
sort of
there.
thing.
He's done it. We've done it. So I guess what I'm saying is he's not that special.
Because we can do it.
Hot indie creators, we hate each other.
Not being funny, but to be fair, his best mate is an old-timey racist called Pops, who hates other indie creators. So, you know, your comment was actually well placed.
That is true. Anorexic Ozzy Osbourne
/ Rob Zombie cosplayer.
Yeah, he didn't like him when I said that.
He really did not.
No. So
he did also. And then at Christmas, I discovered on an old account that he'd sent me loads of hate mail there from months back and not blocked me, so he got it again.
Professionalism, guys. Support indie creators because we don't support each other. We'll see you guys next time. You can find my channel, Connor's Games and Geeker, on YouTube, and obviously the other stuff.
You know what channel mine is?
Yeah, it's right here, Team Venom Media. Check out the playlist. You'll see a load of cool different shit. And we'll see you next week.